Moving on, we're getting into, I'm pretty sure what we have been reviewed throughout this workshop so far has got you a pretty good idea where we are all heading with the application of artificial intelligence and how the business autonomy is almost undisputable in the future. That's just the trend. And so I'd love to really recap on like how the future of the company will look like. And first of all, the AI is going to be the core of it. AI will be the engine that executes and runs all the work. So what is the role of us, the humans? It will definitely shift. Our role will be in the supervision of these agents. So we'll be setting them up. We'll be writing the system instructions for them. We'll be connecting the agents together. The platforms will become more and more intelligent and simple for us, the users, in order to do that, to like create these orchestrations without the profound technical knowledge. And so the need for the human work will probably decrease. I don't think that we will need, as much of the effort and the supervision of the automated work of the AI agents as we have need in the human work today. Ironically, even that part will be and is already getting substituted by the AI supervision agents, where you're able to organize the workflows in a way that the execution agents are doing the work, and you can launch multiple execution agents to offer you the version of the work that they would do, or they would create multiple documents, and then you would A/B test them. So there would be one controlling agent who analyzes the output of every of the agents that run in parallel and will only select the best variation of work to pass it further. Then in order for this AI core to be really efficient, you need to provide your strategies, policies, libraries. So a lot of work needs to be done in terms of formalizing of the information. Particularly, like not many companies have their business processes entirely described and laid on paper. Good news is that you only need to do that. You don't need to like get into the nitty-gritty of technology and the development, because that is going to be simpler. But your part of the role in terms of the automation of business is getting to know what you want to achieve from the business, how the business runs or should run step by step, what are the processes, how they are intertwined, and so on. The standard operating procedures, tools that enable agents to have legs and hands and do the work through the APIs, internet crawlers, robotic process automation bots, and then concepts such as, custom large and small language models, where you can fine-tune the models to work particularly well for your business. Domain-specific data models and innovative general-purpose transformers that may be more relevant for businesses in the future. Currently, we see, only one or few general architectures of the transformers, but I envision this to change in the future, and there will be more diversity there. Now, how the AI adoption looks from the perspective of like harmonizing it with your existing environment. So your environment depicted here in the top of the screen will definitely be there, because this is your data repository. This is where you enter the information, store it, and then read it, extract it for the further analysis for the further business analysis. So that will be respected. And with that, more and more of the systems that you're currently using will come up with their AI assistance layer. But your general AI and automation backbone will drill into these platforms that you're currently using as a data management tools in order to read and write info. And what is important here, and this is the cornerstone for every successful AI implementation, is that you have to have your data layer unified, you have it streamlined, you need to have it accessible through the APIs so that AI can access these data points as they are necessary for the execution. And then all the various AI tools will be plugged into this AI and automation backbone. Now, looking here in the left, we think that the future of the interfaces at both work and private environment will shift towards the conversational interfaces. So you will have your corporate messenger at work as the primary medium of the communication, and then the messenger representing an agent will be able to do all the work under the bonnet. So get into the systems, pull all the data, create the report, come up with a conclusion, the roadmap, or the recommendation for a human. And this way you can service customers, staff, top management, board of your company, anyone who is in any way collaborating and interacting with your business. And then I have separated out online awareness as a component pretty important, is that provides your connectivity to the world. And with that, you can do things such as the LinkedIn research on your candidates, on your potential leads, competitor websites research. So you have to understand what they are working on, whom they are hiring, from which you can extrapolate what they are working on and like what they plan on launching in the future, their services, the pricing for their services, products, and so on. Contractor websites so that you can screen the innovation that is happening in the space, and through the RFP process, bring in that innovation in your company. And news websites for both the social media repurposing as well as the upskilling and awareness of your employees. I did mention, okay, so agents will not work in silos. Agents will be talking to each other, and that is already happening. I just think that it will get to the next level in the next 12 months where the connectivity between agents will be so simple and native that any professional will be able to use it. But we are basically employing it in our orchestrated workflows. For example, a team of agents responsible for the social media updates coordinated by the director agent. So there are other cognitive primitives that you can use in order to like stitch these agents into the coherent workflows. One of them is the task dispatch. It's very simple. It enables the hierarchy and the delegation of work with the further return of the result of work to the controlling agent that will then govern the sequence in which this work has to be like passed on to the other agents for the execution and the provision of the final result. I'm having a separate video on the social media marketing director agent. That one explains how exactly the director is talking to the agents, delegating the tasks to them, and then they return the work back to it. The control loop, where one agent is executing the work and then another one is basically checking the quality of it, assessing it, and then either returns it back for the execution or passes forward. The reflective loop, which is pretty much the control loop augmented with an architect agent that really analyzes the output and then improves the system instruction of the first agent who executes the work in order to continuously evolve it and make sure that the business process gets improved with every execution of the task. And then a layered or sequential execution of work where you basically like chain the tasks, or the agent works in one chain and the work is done one phase after another. Now, understanding your business and being able to lay out your business process in a way that is comprehensible and clear is extremely important. And like this is one of the, when I do the workshops for corporations, what we do, we sit with the business process model notation. This is this type of diagrams that help businesses understand how their processes are organized. And so then the functional departments and the technical department can work together on automating these business processes because there is a clarity around how exactly they are organized. And I encourage every business to like dedicate a little bit of time on the recurring basis, like say on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, to just sit together as a team and formalize a little bit of your business processes, piece by piece, puzzle by puzzle. You will get like the entire picture of what your business really is. It also helps because it lets you step out from being too much inside of the process to being above the process. And that will be very important in the era of the AI-driven automation. Okay, so business process is very similar to the agent diagram. It has the trigger event, or in the classic paradigm, they call it the start event. It's something that starts the execution of the process. This diamond-shaped rectangle represents the gateway. So this is where the decision has to be made of whether the process would branch into the branch A or branch B. And this is your first angle of attack for the AI implementation, because this decision-making can be delegated on the AI as long as you can describe how exactly you are making those decisions in real life on your own. If there are other parameters to it, if there has been enough previous examples of the runs that explain your decisions in the past, it can be formalized. And then after that, you can see the two branches, each of which is continued with the chain of tasks, right? So this is your second angle of the AI attack, because you can do a few things. First of all, you can automate every individual task on its own, which is very valuable because let's say you are saving 30 minutes of the human effort time for every execution of the task in this phase. So that's a darn good optimization for your business. However, what we know from working with businesses is that the most of the delays happen not because the task itself takes a lot of time, but because there are the queues of the execution when you transfer the task from one phase to another, because every of these professionals or specialists responsible for the task execution at every next phase can be really bottlenecked or can be backlogged by many other tasks. So albeit the task in the phase B could probably take them half an hour again, they will only get to it in a few days from now because they are busy with their own backlog. And so this chain is creating this delay where something that surprisingly could take an hour and a half of the human work is taking 1 week from the beginning till end. So as soon as you implement the AI agents to really replicate and cover the business processes that you have in the company task by task and chain them, you will be able to achieve this much faster turnaround speed, like 15 minutes or half an hour for the preparation of like the proposal for the client instead of like 2-3 days, and so on and so forth. The count of these cases, they are limitless really, and they concern every department of the company. Now, how do you actually decide like which one to start with and prioritize is you can use the heat maps to get to understand where the backlogs or where it is like where the backlogging is happening, where like the process is clogged the most, and you will pay the most attention to these areas first because that's where you unlock better efficiency and productivity and throughput in your company.